Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you are in the world. This is Howie, and I'm here to help you win with money. Today is January 14, 2022. It is the last trading day of week number 2. Before we go on to options trading, don't forget, if you're on Facebook, join Facebook group Investing 102. This is where you can level up your investment knowledge. So let's get right to ETrade. Now we're back at ETrade. So I want to look at a trade here that I want to do. And I see here that this contract is expiring in 8 days, which is next Friday. And you can see I collected 43 cents. It's only worth 10. So what that tells you is this contract is pretty much worthless. So there's two ways to play it. Let's hit the trade button and see what your options are. And I'll just hit this right here. We'll hit the roll button. You can see that this doesn't have weeklies, so this is a monthly. And then even for 2000, look, there's not a lot of options in this. So what I want to do is, in order to create the most flexibility, I like to just roll it 1 month. I don't think it makes sense for me to keep on rolling it to this month anymore. So normally you can do something like this for some extra premium and then roll up later. But since I already did that multiple times in the past, the best thing for me to do is roll it 1 month forward, right, which is the next available date. And then instead of collecting like $200 or $300, what you want to do is probably do the opposite. I'm going to try to move it up further away. Now, my break-even point is $42, and you see it's at 55. So I already made money from the stock, but I want to make money by holding the option. And I don't want to let go of the stock even at $65. So what I'm going to do in this case is actually move it up. And even if I collect $35, I can make money that way. Now, people always ask, well, why do that? If you follow the stock, you also got to know when it moves and when it jumps. So I'll show you the chart. And if you look at a 1-year chart, you can see that this thing was trading at $200. If you look at the 5-year chart, you see this. So I actually got in, you saw my pause basis was down here. And I rolled it all the way up and I made money on the option. So now, as it's dropping, I'm just going to, it may have a quick rebound. So if you zoom in, something like this, you see that at some point it has to find support. Now, if this company sucks, it'll be worth 0. But if it's decent, it'll find support and it'll start rebounding. And what I'm afraid of is, even if we don't want to say it's worth 260, right? Let's suppose we don't know what it's worth. And let's say we don't even think it's worth 100. But at some point, it's going to be worth somewhere in between these endpoints, between this $53 and $260. So let's go back to my trading thingy. See, I got in at $42. And the 1-year low is 53. So what I'm predicting is at some point it's going to find a bottom. So what I need to do is prepare for an upside move eventually. And the problem with stocks are sometimes they move really quick and you can't really predict when it's going to happen. Now, some people do say they could. I'm not here to debate that. So one thing I want to do is there is an earnings on February 17. So I want to take that into account. And so there could be some extra volatility because of earning. So that's why I want to place this $10 up. The lowest I would make is $35 extra. But I'm going to start at the mid and then move my way down. So let's see if I can get this trade across. After commissions, I make $49 on this trade. So let's just put that on. Let's see what happens. It didn't go across yet. Hit refresh at least once. Now let's start lowering the price. Let's do $40. Let's do under the mid. And we'll just keep on repeating this until it gets sold. And there you go. It got sold. And just to show you, you can see this. You see the timestamp. It is 10:26. And you can see that I actually did previous trade before I started the video. But here's this trade that you saw me do live. Let me see if I can find another trade to put on. Okay, I think I found something. I tried looking at some of these shorter ones, and there's not a lot of value, which means there's really no no people buying it, and so it makes no sense. Look, you see that? There's nobody really buying it, so there's no value in going shorter dated. So what I'm looking at is I'm looking at somewhere where there's actually some buyers at the bid price willing to buy this. So I may have to go all the way out to May, but I'm okay with that. 11 contracts at $1. If I can sell mine for anywhere between, you see, this is a fake price. The last price was 15 cents. Even if I can get it somewhere between 10 and 20, you subtract that from the dollar or somewhere in the middle, I can make money on this. And what I'm doing is I'm rolling this out into the future. You add another 4 months to it, but I'm also raising this up to 35 bucks, which is close to my cost basis. So what I want to do is reduce some risk, even if this thing actually does turn around. Now, all these high tech or biotechs or CRISPR or all these companies with no profits, they've been taking a beating lately. So what I want to do is let's try to make some money off the options. So I will start off at $1.20, a little bit higher than the mid, because sometimes you can't really tell what the prices are. So I'm going to start higher and then just move my way down and see if I can roll this contract into the future. So we'll do the same process as I did before. You just keep on doing this. But now I'm just going to jump a little bit. I'm not going to move it 1 penny at a time. It'll take me 10 minutes if I did that to find the right price. I'm just going to move it by 20 cents. Now I may drop it by another, I'll drop it by 15 cents until there's a right price for this option. And there you go. I sold it, and I'll show you what I mean. Hit the view all. You guys can see this. Look at the timestamp. So 8 minutes, or is it 6 minutes from the other trade? I have another trade in, and there you go. Now let me look for another trade to do. So before I end this video, I want to talk about the 2, 3, 4 for my iron condors on the SPY. There's no trades that I need to do for that right now, and I'll show you why. The February 11, if you look at the calendar, February 11 is 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks away. So that's, you can see the math, right? This is 7, 14, 21, 28, 29 days away. So there's plenty of time left on this particular option on Iron Condor. And if you want to see what's the value, the easiest way on ETrade is just select all 4 legs and then hit the close button. See how much it will cost me to close it. And you'll see this, it will cost me about 60 cents. So your profit is the difference between how much I collected in premium versus how much I closed it for. And for that particular Iron Condor, I opened that earlier this week. I believe I collected $74 per contract. So there isn't really much you need to do. Let's just let time decay. You don't need to roll this one. I put it on when there was a little bit less time on. So I just want to monitor it and make sure that the current price stays between my range of $4.15 and $4.90. Now, one thing you're going to notice is whenever these prices are near the dollar or higher, that means that this is more the tested side. This side, the probability and the odds are almost fading close to zero. They're probably in the single digit probabilities now, because you can tell by the 32 cents. So one way I can play this is, and I'll take a look at when I put this trade on. You see that on the 10th, and if you look at both sides, 110. So there's one way I can play this is by saying, if the odds are nearly single digits, I can add some risk to my portfolio by doing something like this, and then hit the roll button, and then roll it to the same period. And then I want to do is lower this by, let's say, $4 on both legs. So by doing something like that, you can add some risk to this. But you would need this price to stay under 486. Now, you got to know what your plan is. If this is already 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks away, when do I plan to close this? If I'm closing it next week, you're only playing it for 3 or 4 more days. If you're planning to close it somewhere between this 2 weeks, right? These are something you need to think about. How much risk do you want to inject back into this trade? Or do you want to just let the trade sort of let time do its magic and then you make the money that way? Now, there's a couple things I want to do before I decide. I'm going to scroll this back up to a 98 and just see how much that is. This is about a 7 cents, 6 to 7 cents at a 488. And I'll show you what I'm going to do. Let's take a look at SPY. The all-time highs was this. The 52-week range is a 479. In order for me to lose money on a 488, the markets would need to hit several all-time highs. First, you would have to break this high. Then you have to break into the right, and then you got to move up. So this may be a risk that I'm willing to take. Will it break into new highs within the next 2 weeks? So my answer is I don't think so. I'm going to add a little bit more risk into this option, collect a few more bucks. And that's what I'm going to do here. That's how you put it on. You see that? And then in order for me to get this sold, I just have to move it to 6 cents, which is the bid price. And that will go across. Especially if you want to speed it up for live trading purposes and recording. And there you go. And if you go here, you'll see it. If I hit the view all, you will see it. And here you go. Look at the timestamp. Now it's 10:41. And you can see some of my other trades from 10:26, 10:32, 10:41. You can see that. These are all, obviously I'm not going there and faking the URL or faking the screen. I know some people could. You can definitely fake anything, but look, these are real links. If I hit it, you'll see that. It will show you my account. So that being said, hey, I'm going to end it here. I believe I made a profit this week. I always compute my numbers at the end on Saturday or Sunday when my brokerage account finally finalizes all my trades. I copy all the transactions to a spreadsheet, do a pivot table on it, check my data. My goal is try to make a few bucks on every trade. And if you do it enough times, you know, I started off with a few hundred trades a year, moved up to a few, you know, I'm up to 1,000 some odd trades a year. But really my goal is to show people it is not random luck. It's not like I'm throwing random darts at a wall and you're just waiting for something to stick. There's a method to the madness, and those who knows what they're doing, you can win more often than not. Even the times where I lose, I'm still making a profit every year. So with that being said, hey, let me know how you're doing in your trading. We are only in week number 2. Comment below, share with me how you're doing. Let me know if you need some help or what type of videos you would like to see. As always, let's do this together. Let's do this $1 at a time. Have a profitable day. Bye-bye.